So I'm starting to get the feeling of this 2019 team that it is over, right? Like it's starting to set in on just what we witnessed over the last couple of months and just how special it really was. Watching some of the highlights on YouTube last night of Burrows' specific season, then they had some of the LSU offensive highlights cut up, and then having the national championship on the DVR and being able to go back and just kind of reference some of the spots. I mean, this team, T, and you talked about it with the Pardon My Take podcast that was published on Tuesday morning with those guys. And one of the overriding things that came out of that interview from both Burrow and Orgeron was really nothing that they said, or I guess it was something that they said, but it was really the air of the feeling that they had around their team in the sense of they never panicked. They never blinked. They really never thought that they were in sincere trouble of losing that game. And you got the feeling down the stretch of the season that they were playing with a confidence, especially when they pulled out of Tuscaloosa, of that they were the best team in America. They thought that about themselves. They carried themselves in that manner, and they thought they were going to punish you when they played you. And that was the most, to me, that was, as a supporter, as somebody that's out there that's listening, that may be a big fan of the program, that to me was the best. Like, to being able, I just recall being in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta during the SEC championship game against Georgia and watching two drives of the opening, the first two drives of the game, and sitting back and thinking, ain't no way Georgia can beat this team. Yeah, there's no way Georgia can. And all I've heard about is Georgia being a top 5 group, and they got these athletes, and they've recruited this well. And look how much far superior LSU is than this team. This 2019 season, for what we have witnessed as supporters of LSU football, will never be replicated again. It'll never be replicated in the sense of the confidence that this crew instilled in you as a supporter, but the way that they carried themselves. I think I told you in August that I felt great about this
before
group.
The Georgia Southern game.
I felt great about this group because of the way, and just kind of popping in and out of the building sometimes, you see some characters moving around there. And in one particular day I was there, I saw Orgeron and Burrow, and I think I called T in the parking lot and said, T, they're going to be for real, man, because when your head coach and your quarterback has the confidence that these two do, I mean, that Burrow clip now from the Manning Passing Academy, how well is that aged when he's like laughing into the camera, telling you about what to expect from the offense, and he gets the feeling that the gaggle of reporters around him, not one person believes him.
Yeah, because he said like 50 points a game or something, which sounded absurd a few months ago. But it is the reality. And I just go back to when you told me that, and then Matt Flynn, maybe post Georgia Southern game, but like he said the same thing, that they're just carrying themselves with a different air, and that carried through all the way to that interview after the game Monday where, LSU goes down 17-7. Outside looking in, we're kind of panicking. We're like, wow, Venables is really doing it. And like, and the defense.
He's got him confused.
The defense isn't up to the task and all this stuff. And then they come back. And then even in the second half, when I don't know when the last time LSU went back-to-back 3-and-outs is, but it feels like, it is few and far between this year. Yeah, right, exactly. But like you go 3-and-out, they score a touchdown, get the 2-point conversion, you go 3-and-out again. You're only up by 3 at that point. That was another moment where it's like, oh boy, this is getting a little sketchy. And Burrow and O said like, nah, man, there was no rah-rah speech. There wasn't really any speech of any sort. It was just like, all right, let's just do our job. Okay, what went wrong there? We got to fix this, and we'll get through in the end.
That's why I can't understand the panic around people talking about the exodus with this program. You had to expect that. Yeah. And from what Orgeron,
means you're doing things the right way.
And from what Orgeron and this staff has provided is the confidence that they're going to get it right, because Orgeron cares about this program more than anybody else does, and he wants to have it on an elite level and consistently there. And that's always what you've asked for as a supporter of the program. Does somebody really bite into it, care about it, be passionate about it, and make it just a machine? And right now, LSU football is a machine. When I see the news of those guys, those underclassmen departing, I think I have full confidence in the fact that Orgeron is going to fill those spots and that they're going to be right back in the top 10 competing for championships, if not next year, right there into the near future. And that's why the story of Odell Beckham Jr., pisses me off so much because of the fact of what this team and what this program has done, not only in the last 3 years of changing the culture of what was left behind by the Les Miles stench, especially the last couple of years. I love Will Blackwell. I love Will Blackwell.
You and Will need to talk.
We talked.
You and Will need to talk. Y'all did talk. You
damn right. You kidding me? But with Orgeron, how he has changed the culture there so fast and got this thing back to a clip where it is one of the monsters in college football, and out of your control, you have an alumni, a booster, a former player, somebody that claims to care so much about the program being so dumb and just so reckless with what everything that this group in particular has worked to build, and it's the celebration point. It's the party. It's everything they talked about. It's that moment, and you've got him waving hundreds around and slapping cops on the ass and disrupting Orgeron's post-game speech. I mean, like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Be an adult and a professional for an hour and a half. Just an hour and a half.
Yeah, we touched on it a bit yesterday. To me, the speech thing is the thing that kind of rankles me a little bit, just because that's like the culmination of Orgeron's life work there, and it's the culmination of the year, and you want him to kind of have his uninterrupted moment when he's talking about never blinking and all that. The money thing is really, like you said, it's very reckless. I don't think it amounts to anything in the end. You got 3 guys on tape. 2 of them are going to the NFL, so it doesn't matter, right? I mean, maybe I love it. The NCAA, after the ratings killed it, and on a night where, they made millions upon millions of dollars, right? The same ESPN that is kind of, really like living in this story and putting it out there, that's the same station that pays $500 million for the TV contracts, right? And then, like, what may happen here, the NCAA may make John Trey Kirkland, like, pay back, like, a couple $100 or something, and that's a terrible look. For them, I mean, because of everything I just said, all the money that everybody else makes. So I think it's a bit much ado about nothing, or will be in the end. But it is much ado that never had to happen in the first place, and I think that's where people get frustrated. Is this was all very easily avoidable, man.
Anonymous user asked inside the huddle, Jordy, can you post a video of Burrows preseason when he's laughing about the reporters asking about the offense? It's on that. He has
the bucket hat on, right? It's from the Manning camp.
It's on That's Joe.
Look at me, I'm like a photographic memory guy.
That's Joe.
No one forgets a bucket hat.
Podcast.
Very fair point, Rivers.
Or the That's Joe series over at LSUsports.net that Cody Worsham and his crew put together. It's the video clip is there. I can find it to you, and I'll get it to you off when we get out of here at 9 a.m. But if you're looking for it immediately, get over to the That's Joe series over at LSUsports.net. It's one of the first bites that you'll find when going into the season. It's Burrows sitting at the Manning Passing Academy. There's a bunch of reporters there. It's a great place for media to get down and get a lot of B-roll going into the season because so many football players around there and so many newsmakers there. And Burrow is being peppered about the LSU offense, and he was, asked about his expectations. And like T said, I think he said, we could average 40, 50 points a game. And people are like, okay.
Yeah.
All right, man. Like laughing at him in his face, and he's kind of like just dead stare panning at him like, I'm dead serious. And then he threw
60 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So some people are saying in the huddle that, asked Odell to speak during the speech. I don't know, dude. Maybe he did. Maybe the players did. I don't know. Like I said, I really don't think any of this is actually going to be that big of a deal at all in the end, and I don't really care about it. All I care about is LSU being 15-0, winning Natty,